What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Aaron, this is Aaron's Aquatics, and today I'm going to show you how to trim dwarf baby tears. Recently, I've been getting a lot of questions. Aaron, what fertilization are you using? Aaron, what lights are you using? Are you using CO2? Is it DIY? Is it pressurized? I did go over that in a previous video on the setup of the Dwarf puffer tank. So real quick, I did want to talk about it very briefly. Let's go ahead and take a quick look. For the full video, also right up in the description, right there, or the little note thing. But these are the fertilization I use. Now these are from Greenleaf Aquariums. These are my macros and micros. They've both been dosed out to exactly how much I need for a 20-gallon tank. Now, what I use for dosing, because they're 20 gallons, I mean, when I had them on my 55, I used this exact same brand. But the 55 was able to use these larger measurements. For the case of this, I use this every single day. I really need to get an automatic doser because that would save me a lot of headache. For my light, I'm using a Phoenix Ray 2. This thing is an absolute beast. I'll be honest, if you are planning on getting this light, please be expected to have some level of algae, because this light is incredibly powerful. Unless you're able to balance out the photo period, how much fertilization your plants need, how much CO2 you need, this light will definitely produce some serious algae. And that's actually something I've been fighting and winning, and we'll be going over that later in this video. Right here is my CO2 setup. This is a pressurized CO2 system. It's a 5-gallon canister, as well as a regulator with a solenoid. The solenoid is set onto a timer that's kind of in sync with my lights. It comes on before my lights turn on, and it turns off before my lights go off. And according with that, I have my bubble checker and my diffuser. Now this is an inline diffuser. A lot of people, what you'll see is inside the tank, you'll have a ceramic disc or something along those lines, and that's where you're gonna get a lot of CO2 diffusion. In my case, I like to have as much stuff out of the tank as possible, and in this case, I have this amazing inline diffuser. If you guys wanna see more about this, definitely check out the video that goes over the entire build of this tank. My big goal for today is to trim back this dwarf baby tears. I mean, it's growing really well. The best part is that it's growing out. I'm really gonna be excited when these two sides meet with each other, because that's gonna be fantastic. This has been growing very well. As you can see, I do have some algae issues going on in here. I believe this is a staghorn algae that I've been dealing with. As you can see though, it's red because I hit this stuff with some hydrogen peroxide. I did remove my shrimp, and as you can see, they're back and they're doing perfectly fine. So I'm pretty excited about that. You can see another one in the back right there. But yeah, everyone's doing fine. The plants reacted okay to the hydrogen peroxide. But so far, it's been looking a hell of a lot better now with the removal of that algae. Before we begin the trim, I want to talk about the tools that I use. Now, I use these tools for pretty much everything. I mean, I use it for aquascaping, I use it for planting, I use it for trimming, and basically everything that I need to do. These pincers right here I use for planting. It's awesome for stem plants because you can grab it by the roots and plant it directly into the substrate. I mean, these are awesome for a whole bunch of different things, but that's what I primarily use that for. Right here, these are curved scissors. These things are amazing for getting things at an angle, and this is actually what we're gonna be using today to trim some dwarf baby tears. If you guys don't have these, go ahead and pick them up online. You can get a pack, like a full set of all of these for really cheap on eBay, and I might go try to find a link for you guys and put it in the description below so you can see. Lastly, I have my flat scissors. These are great for picking out trimmed plants, and we're gonna be looking at that later, not in this video, maybe in the future. This Rotala Walichi is just growing out of control in my crystal red and the blue dream velvet tank, so we're gonna really have to trim that back. But anyways, let's go ahead and hit that dwarf baby tears and get this started. Okay, so we are done with the trim, but we are not done. By the way, I should have mentioned it right off the bat. If you have an outflow pipe inside your tank, if you have any power heads, anything whatsoever, make sure to turn those off if you're trimming this plant. I didn't, and check this out. This thing is a mess. It's all gonna start floating to the top. You can scoop it up with a small net. You definitely wanna get a fine net because, I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but these particles are super fine. It's really hard to take some of this out. You will miss some of it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna get caught up in your other plants, as you can see right there in the back, if I can focus through this mess. And it'll get stuck underneath any of these kind of plants right here. So make sure to take a lot of time, clean this up properly. You don't want that extra nutrients in your tank. So I want to talk really quick before we clean this up, while this stuff kind of floats to the surface, about why you want to trim like this. And now I trimmed it kind of deep, but if you take a look, see how green this is? That's very good. There's a few spots where it's a little bit yellow because the way dwarf baby tears work is if you don't trim it properly, what's gonna happen is the leaves at the bottom are gonna start dying because they don't get any sunlight, okay? So you wanna trim it so that the bottom doesn't die. If the bottom dies, this whole thing is gonna come up like this, and that would be a giant disaster. So if you look over here, you see a lot more yellow. Why is that? Well, I haven't trimmed this side nearly as much as I have trimmed this side. And so there's a lot more dead leaves at the bottom of this section. But you know what? This side looked just like this side when I trimmed it the last time. So I went really deep here. You're gonna see a bunch of new growth and rebound probably within a week or so. But in the meantime, I mean, you can take a look. I mean, man, that's a beautiful shrimp. They are gonna clean up a lot of this extra stuff. I mean, they're like, oh God, look at all this new food. I mean, even the puffers here are getting in on the action. So we're gonna go ahead and clean this tank up, make it look a little bit better, because there's a lot of stuff up on the surface that we need to get rid of. So let's go ahead and do that right now. All right, guys, and there you have it. We are done with this process, though mostly for you guys. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait a little bit, let some of my filter capture a lot of these particles that I couldn't get. I mean, my net is only so fine. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and see the progress of this carpet within the next couple weeks. I mean, it's looking great right now. I think, you know, we've got some of that algae, but, you know, we've been dealing with it slowly but surely. I mean, this side of the carpet is looking absolutely fantastic. Now, I don't really know what I want to do from here. This plant right here, I'm not exactly liking the fact that I'm coming out this way, unless I want to quarantine this section off and then do something like right there. Or just remove these two that are coming this way and then create like a line of plants, or I don't know. I really don't know what I want to do. What I do know is I don't like how the dwarf baby tears are encroaching on my Helferi, which are these little green plants right in the center of the camera. So I may be trimming those back so they can't go any further. We're gonna go ahead and see how that goes over the next couple days to a week. But yeah, that's pretty much how you trim dwarf baby tears. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I mean, next time we're gonna go ahead and look at trimming some of that Rotala Walichi when we address some of these freshwater tanks. For those of you that have been asking, the clownfish are doing absolutely fantastic. They're gonna get their own update video because the whole quarantine setup had a really big issue, and that requires a video on its own. That said, there's another issue that I've been dealing with, and that is shipping fish. I purchased some fish two Thursdays ago. They were shipped out on Monday and they were supposed to arrive on Friday. UPS has been out for delivery since Tuesday. It is now Sunday that I'm recording this video, so look out for another video coming out this week, assuming they even show up this week. I mean, post in the comment section below how long you think fish, like in your experience, have been delayed in travel. And if they survived, how long did you have them in there? Because I really need to know. It's really frustrating. I hate UPS with a passion because there have been multiple times where they've just completely screwed me over on situations like this. Anyways, that'll be for the future. I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas for future videos, go ahead and hit it up in the comment section below. Now, my name is Aaron. This is Aaron's Aquatics. I'll see you next time.